I spent an entire month doing extreme forearm conditioning. Did my forearms get as strong as stone, or did I crumble under the rigorous training? This is what happened, but you gotta focus. To begin this journey, I wanted to test my current forearm robustness and pain tolerance, so I got out the good old dowel tester. Starting with what I thought would be a good start dowel to break through, I was quickly humbled.
Why does that hurt more than the shin did?
So I had to summon way more mental willpower just to get the first dowel done with.
Oh!
In fact, I was surprised I made it through the 5/8 inch dowel. But that was it.
Oh, that hurts so bad. Yeah. Okay. We're done.
Now after a short 10-minute warm-up, I got started with the first bout of forearm conditioning. Starting with the basics, forearm conditioning on the heavy bag.
Oh.
This was going to be plenty for me to begin, and I only started with the outside of the forearm, doing 10 reps on each side. Just one set in and they were already getting red. Now after 3 sets of this, they got a little numbed up, and so of course I got ahead of myself. So I thought it would be cool to increase the force of my strike and thus the impact by adding in this little spin.
Oh. Ow. Ooh. Oh. Oh.
Forgive all the grunts, but yeah, I was only able to do about 5 reps each side like this, and it was just too much for me to handle. Anyways, I decided to move on to inside of the forearm training using this little technique from karate, which is using the outside of one forearm to help condition the inside of the other. However, I think I must have been doing this wrong, or maybe I was just too unconditioned at this point on the inside, because every time I struck the inside of my forearm, even lightly, it felt like I was hitting my nerve. As in, it felt like it was possibly damaging something in my hand, which would make it weaker, which is not what I wanted to do. So I just went really lightly here at first and would think about coming back to this later.
Cold water. Oh, so nice and cold. Yo, so it's a little tender, but it did not bruise like I thought it would. Ooh, this way is worse. Oh, that's even more tender. I barely even hit this side.
So I decided to give myself 48 hours rest before forearm conditioning again anyways after another short warm-up. Moving a little slower with this warm-up because I'm wearing the weighted clothes from Amorpho. If you're interested, you can use my affiliate link in the description for 15% off. Anyways, on this second day of training, I did the exact same first 2 exercises, the outside of the forearm strikes and then the spinning strikes. However, for the inside of the forearm, I decided to use the heavy bag this time, striking it a little bit lighter. I figured hitting the heavy bag was more of a spread out impact than just using the opposite side of the other forearm, and that it was. However, I still had to go very light because that inside of the forearm is just so sensitive, at least on me. I repeated these exact exercises again 48 hours later, and at this point my forearms were really beginning to show signs of this type of training. Now after taking a long weekend off, the bruising pretty much diminished, but also my forearms were feeling stronger and tougher. And after another 10-minute warm-up, I decided to throw in a different exercise to start, something to condition my pain tolerance. An old technique, I don't exactly know the name, but stick slapping I'm gonna call it. I emulated this with a pair of dowels, loosely holding it in one hand and slapping my other forearm up and down. Definitely uncomfortable, but as I continued to rep this out, the sting began to diminish. So I figured this would be a perfect technique to deploy on the inside of the forearms, which once again felt so much more tender than the outsides. So I tried to be careful here, but I feel like this began to help me increase my pain tolerance on the inside. Now on top of the same heavy bag strikes from the first week, I decided to throw in these straight forearm strikes, using both my body weight and my weight vest as momentum. I really felt like this helped get some serious force through my forearms for that potential deep bone remodeling. Anyways, I had 3 training days on week 2 doing the additional exercises plus the old exercises. My forearms were looking pretty beat up, but I did feel like I was increasing my pain tolerance. But were my bones, fascia, and muscles actually getting tougher to withstand the force I would eventually be putting on them? Maybe I was moving too fast. Anyways, one supplement that I decided to add back into my stack, an ancient herb known as Cissus quadrangularis. Cissus was an herb to potentially increase the rate of bone remodeling and thus bone healing. And if that holds any truth, that would be perfect for this experiment in my opinion. So I threw in approximately 1,000 milligrams on workout days. This stuff tastes like dirt. Fancy dirt.
Oh! Oh!
Week 3, introducing the roller. This is a controversial technique because it used to be pushed that this would help strengthen the bones in whatever limb you're rolling. However, many claim it doesn't really do anything for bone remodeling. But from my experience doing it with shin conditioning, it really helps with pain tolerance. And with barely putting any weight into it, I could really feel it filling in the gaps, as in like crunching out any sensitive spot in the forearm, as terrible as that sounds. So I continued to use this technique in addition to the other ones throughout week 3, and I do have to say, I think up until this point, this was the most painful by far. But it kind of made some of the other techniques not feel like they hurt as much. And towards the end of week 3, I felt like I needed something a little more than the heavy bag to continue to push my forearms. So I wrapped a bag of these pebbles in an old cotton shirt to be used as a forearm conditioning striking surface.
Oh gosh.
A couple of strikes and I could quickly tell this was a step above the heavy bag, but the conformity of the pebbles helped spread the force throughout the forearms, rather than just all impacting in one place. This felt very shocking to the body, and I could only do 2 sets of 10 on the first day of this new technique. However, the additional pain tolerance I felt like it gave me seemed to be noticeable as it carried over into week 4. Bumping this exercise up to 3 sets of 10 and holding it there along with all of the other exercises was becoming quite the feat. With only 1 week left before the end of 1 month, I found the motivation to push it. In my mind, I focused on every rep, every strike being quality, and I tried to think positively about the response. However, just like before when I was doing fist conditioning and the finger conditioning, with so much repetitious blunt force, I couldn't help but be at battle with what I like to call impact sadness in my mind.
So I must note I'm really feeling what I like to call impact sadness this week. Dude, every rep today has just been like I could just feel it in my soul, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna take 2, maybe 3 days off of forearm conditioning, and then we're gonna run the test. All right.
1 month of extreme forearm conditioning complete, but was it enough to see results on my test? Well, after 72 hours of rest and recovery, it was time.
So I just got done with a little warm up. I'm good to go. Let's just do this. You know, I probably should just test on the thinnest one, the 1/2 inch. I didn't even feel that. Throwing some glasses on because eye protection, probably a good idea. Dude! Has anyone seen Beverly Hills Ninja? I shouldn't be joking around right now. All right. Alright, I felt that one a little bit more, but honestly nothing compared to the first day. Alright, here's where we left off. Oh man. Oh dude. I don't know. Oh man. Oh shoot. I'm stopping there, dude. So major improvements in pain tolerance. That last one was the thickest one I broke through with my forearm. We beat the before. It did not hurt nearly as bad as the attempt. It probably was on the same level as that first one, the 1/2 inch we did in the before. Maybe even a little less. Honestly, the pain is gone now. It's really just do I want to keep going and potentially actually damage my bone or something like that? Pain tolerance in the forearms, way better. There had to be some kind of remodeling going on a deep level. I'm able to hit the heavy bag way harder with my forearm, less pain. They do feel tough tougher. I think it's just like the shin thing, you know, if you really want to see the deep results, it's something you got to continue doing, but at what cost? So some costs that I've experienced throughout this experiment, especially on the inside, that like nerve pain feeling, I don't think that's good. I want to try to avoid that. Also, just from impacting over and over again, arthritis issues down the road, other issues like that, etc. So where's that fine balance? Does everything come at a cost? Possibly, but at the end of the day, I think this experiment definitely worked over the course of 1 month. That was pretty interesting. Let me know if you want to see me do any other conditioning experiments like this. Stay tuned, more videos coming out. Hope you all have a great day. Peace. I'll see you all in the next video.